Welcome to the Diversify Inspiring Leaders podcast. Our guest today is Anita MuktaaShourya. With over 2 decades of experience, Anita is a dynamic leader, facilitator, and transformation catalyst whose work continues to impact individuals and organizations across industries. As the founder and CEO of Lead Spectra, she specializes in leadership development, organizational transformation, and people-centric growth strategies, with a unique ability to design learning experiences that drive resilience, productivity, and excellence. Her journey began with Jet Airways, where she honed her discipline and precision, later taking on leadership roles across Fortune 500 companies and government organizations. Along the way, she built a reputation as a speaker and mentor who inspires through authenticity, energy, and creativity. She's a classical dancer, motorbiker, and Miss India contest awardee. So I would like you, Anita, to tell us a little bit more about all this a little later. Her book, To Win Your Battles, Stay Alive, inspired 3 short films on emotional resilience, while her initiative, Being There Matters, forces peer-to-peer mental wellness support. Anita believes true leadership is about energy, finesse, and the courage to redefine norms. Principles she continues to live and share every day. So welcome to the Inspiring Leaders podcast, Anita.
Thank you very much, Sylvia.
So as I already mentioned, I would love for you to tell us a little bit more about your background and maybe your experience from the childhood and early life that shaped you as a leader, and also the breadth of experience that you're bringing to the table.
Thank you for this wonderful question. As you said, and as you can see, the experience that I have gained, it is mostly through interaction with people. And interaction with people at different, I would say, fields. It plays a very vital role in shaping the person you are. And right from childhood, I think my childhood has shaped me very well in who I am today, because I grew up in an environment where resilience and adaptability, it became a part of everyday life. And the reason I say it is, I am one amongst 3 siblings, and I'm the third, so it is survival of the fittest. And at the same time, I come from a background where my mother was very strict, but I would say my father is a person who visioned, I would say, way ahead of the times then itself. So each time there would be situations where it didn't work for me, but how did I go on again with the same conviction, with the same mindset that no, I need to do something different? That is probably what shaped me then. And I've carried it along through the fields that I have been blessed with opportunities, I would say. It's nothing that I went and searched for, but things came my way. And I accepted it with gratitude. And yes, that's what shaped me overall.
Interesting. So can you tell us a little more about the, let's say, non-commercial activities like dancing, motorbiking, other things that make you a unique person?
The motorbiking, it also happens actually. I love driving also. Okay, so be it the car or my bike, the common element in it is I like being on the road. I like being in control where rules are obeyed. Respect is a key. Like as a driver, as a rider, it's very important that you respect other people. So it, in fact, speaks a lot about the values, my core values that I hold very close and cannot compromise on. One is respect. Second is to be very inclusive in terms of if there are pedestrians on the road, and if I'm the person in control, I have a choice of stopping for them to pass by. And I also have a responsibility there to drive or use the indicators in time so that the person behind me can plan his move or her move, and safety being the priority. So, as a biker, I've been again a person who has traveled across India. And later on, I took to solo riding, and most of my solo riding is towards Kerala or to Goa or to, Pondicherry, that side. And I've been doing that. So I think to be able to observe people as you ride and sometimes interacting with people when you take a break, you see new people every day, you hear from them, you observe them, you get something on your way back in terms of experiences and how you change those experiences into lessons that you could probably use in sessions as inspirational lessons. It really makes a impact in lives of other people.
I very much agree, and I actually have had the experience of riding motorbikes in Europe, not in India.
Mhm. Lovely.
And I do experience this. You feel closer to nature and closer to people when you're on the
Yes.
bike rather versus sitting in a car. So that's interesting. So, who were your role models when you were growing up? And did they influence you as a leader? How did they influence you as a leader?
I have only one role model as I was growing up, and I don't know if it'll sound cliched, but my father is, and will always be my role model. Because as I started off this conversation, I said he was a man who saw way ahead of his times. In a time when people didn't speak about leadership, people didn't speak about learning, people never spoke about standards, I still remember him telling me that the standard of your life depends on the standard you set for yourself. So he taught me the importance of grooming yourself, importance of taking some time off, whether it is music, whether it is cleaning your own home, probably on the weekend. Those days to see a man who would clean the home and make his children a part of that activity. Today, everything is an activity, but that time it was, children were given smaller tasks. He used to cook really well. So while he was the main chef, we were all his sidekicks to probably get the vegetables or ingredients from the refrigerator. And at that point of time, he told me something that really, even today, I follow perfect to the T, is that cooking is very easy. But to make sure that there is no spoon also in the wash basin after you cook is a skill. So it's not about only doing what you are doing, but it is about how you do it and how you manage your time, and efficiency is what matters. He probably did not use these terminologies, but those lessons that he gave me today, when I use it as terminologies, it is people call it life lesson, people call it, leadership skills. But he is a person who put that into, I would say, my DNA, my blood, my nerves, even today. And he is with me at every point of time.
Wonderful. Such a special relationship.
Yes.
So, what were some of the biggest challenges that you faced as a woman while balancing personal responsibilities and professional ambitions?
I think the biggest challenge a woman faces in her life, in fact, it is not, I would not call it time management, it is about perception management.
Mm,
A woman has to work in binary, always in binary, a false binary, I would say. That is, you have an option. Do you have to go ahead or not? Because responsibilities or not. So it is always a binary, a choice that you have to make, and a choice that you have to make irrespective of the skill sets and mindset that you have. Because a couple of things that are added into your life on a daily basis is one, fear, second, guilt, third, as you go on and realize the opportunities you could have made use of but did not, You have to live your life in regret. This is something that I have always seen happening across, even today. We are in 2025, but even today, no matter how much we go ahead, even at the leadership level, the top women who lead, they always have a story to tell that they had to make the choice. So this is one thing that I would say it is very important for women to be able to make that choice, to integrate their abilities, their skills, and their dreams, and to be able to stand up for themselves and say, we are together. Let's collaborate and make things work for us as a whole unit. It's not me working, you working, and what we do, but together what we bring. That mindset is something that women need to be able to still develop within themselves first. And I'm sure it's not easy for a lot of women, and some women have struggled their way through. It has never been easy, it's never been luck, but they've still stood strong. And I think we need to draw inspiration from such women and celebrate them, keep them as role models, and go ahead.
Absolutely, I fully agree. And Diversify is actually partially doing that through
Yes.
our programs where we have women who are in board and C-level mentor women who are younger, 10 to 20 years of experience in
Mhm.
our Global Leader Certification program, where we really feel that they are paying it forward and they're helping the younger generation to actually move up. And I think it's very, very important to have role models, ideally in your own company as board or C-level members.
Yes.
If you have women there, it's much more likely that other women in the organization will come up. And similarly, if you don't have them inside, at least to get mentors from the outside who can actually help you and be role models for you. So thank you for mentioning that. I do agree that's a very, very important part of a successful leadership journey. So sometimes life throws challenges at us. So we all have defining moments or personal life challenges. I'm sure you had some too, and they shaped your leadership style. So
Yes.
how do you rebuild yourself after some personal struggles? What value lessons that you've learned that you can draw from?
It's a very, very interesting question, but yes, I've been through struggles myself. And in all that struggle, what really matters is you understanding who is with you, who is not with you. And sometimes it is not to tell you that what you are doing is right. It is also for them to be able to take the liberties to let you know that, no, Anita, what you did is wrong. But in telling you that, there is also no room for judgment. If Anita has conviction in what she did, give her the space to explore and give her the space to be who she is. Now, that is something that I realized in my struggles. I was able to identify the people who really mattered. And earlier, before my struggles, it was all about the number of people that I had with me. It made me feel good. But later on, I realized I can have so many people with me, but the right people with you, even if it is only one person, that is the strength that you need to identify and relate with. So, in times of struggles, what happens is your vulnerability comes out. But sometimes you can hide in that vulnerability, or it's okay. I am vulnerable right now. People can see me. I am probably known as a superwoman, Iron Lady, as whatever titles that you get when you are successful. Those titles just collapse when you are not able to stand because of a certain situation. But it's okay, you're human. And sometimes as women, we fail to understand that we are human. I need to
Mm,
cry. I need to yell. I need to probably just hit the table. It's okay. Let yourself be. Because many a times we are suppressing our emotions and choosing not to express ourselves until we explode within and become somebody that we are not. So, the greatest lesson that I had in my struggles was let me be. I will take time. I will take time to heal. It may take 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, but when I stand, that standing will have strength. And that this is going to be the strength that I will not fall again. I've learned from I wouldn't call it mistakes. I've learned from what I did not see then, but now I see. I'm more careful. And I think I've grown enough to be able to guide somebody or to be able to let the other people see their path more clearly without judgment. So it has always helped, being a good listener, a better listener. And something I really understood is that there are moments where silence speaks much more than words. So in my struggles, I knew who left. And in that time, I think that self-reflection was in moments of silence. And there I heard what I had to hear, who I had to become. And it's very important for each one to take that time for themselves. It's never a failure, it's a restart.
Absolutely. The self-reflection is so important. You can't really be a leader unless you understand yourself.
Yes.
You have to understand your own workings, your own values, your own, fears, angers, whatever. You need to understand yourself in order to be a leader for others. If you don't
Yeah.
lead yourself, how can you lead others, right?
Yeah.
So, wow, thank you so much for sharing that. It's very deep experience and sharing. So let's move to the more businesswoman and facilitate and author and artist and mother that you are now. So you're wearing so many hats. So how do you balance that? And do you have personal routines or practices that kind of keep you grounded? How do you manage?
I wouldn't say you have to balance all this because then it is a juggling. You're like struggling, trying to do this, trying to do that, trying to fit in at this space, that space. It is more about the presence that you hold. When I'm in the world of dance, the rest of me does not exist. That is where I'm present. When I'm when I'm riding, the fact that I'm a mother, the fact that I'm a person who is riding. So you need to be in your senses. You have to have the road, where you are. You have to have your reflexes. You have to enjoy the journey. So that's who you are. And same when you are in a corporate world or when you are in a leadership role, it's not about you. It's about who you enable. So if it's going to be about you at every point of time, then other people stop existing. And when other people stop existing, the leader in you does not exist. So it's about being present where you are and to be able to disconnect from where you are not at that point of time. It's very important.
I can very much relate to that. I mean, one thing that people say, and also I've experienced actually, is when you're an artist or when you do something that you really love doing, you get into the zone, right? They call it the zone. And
Yes,
literally everything else disappears and you're just in it and you don't even realize how much time passes by or anything. And I have experienced that with painting, for example, right? So when you paint, you're just in a different world. You're just in it and you don't actually think per se. You're just actually letting some energy kind of flow through you. So this sounds very
absolutely.
similar what you were describing.
Absolutely. And you know what's very interesting? There was a time I went on a social media detox. And when I went on the detox mode, I really loved it. I think I went on a detox for nearly 3.5 years. And what I realized is social media gives us the ability to be at several places at the same time. And then you start making, oh God, I don't have time for anything else. I'm in this person's life, that person's life. I'm in this place, that place. You're all over the place, but you're not anywhere. So, in such an era, it's very important for us to understand the importance of being present. Even when the reason I bring social media is sometimes, even when you're sitting at the dinner table with your family or in a restaurant, to be able to have I would say, courage to keep your phone away or in either in the car or in your bag, and not take it out till you exit from that place. So these things really make a huge difference to let you do several things in life and yet enjoy it without struggles.
I would recommend that also, going to a restaurant and actually just being there without having to go through the phone and checking this and checking WhatsApp and checking whatever. So
Yes.
yeah, I agree with you. Very smart. So, is it your journey as a performing artist? How has it influenced your identity and leadership philosophy?
I think, Sylvia, you said you do painting also, right? So, across any kind of art form, I think the most important requirement is discipline. It starts there. I can say that I want to do 100 things, but if I don't start doing it, if I don't find time to do it, and if I don't dedicate time, even if it is 10 minutes, that 10 minutes completely soulfully, you are into that space. So this is what I think as a performing artist, I have really practiced and I still do. And I bring it to my workspace and people around me, I tell them that if you don't want to work today, it's fine. Tell me openly that you don't want to work. You don't feel like you're human. You just don't feel like doing anything. It's fine. But if you are here, bring your whole self, not partially. So there are times we sit, we work, and then they just take off, or just take off, and you don't feel like sitting in the office. Okay, go sit in the coffee shop. We'll sit there. It's okay. You want to sit outside, just stare at the sky. Okay, if you want to work, that's your way of working. You go ahead, you do that. The whole point is discipline of not fooling somebody, saying that you're doing something, but not giving it your 100%. So discipline, focus, and dedication. It's a must.
I wish more companies would actually be able to allow that in their environments. I don't know if it really would work for big companies, but it's a wonderful experience if you can actually have that flexibility.
In fact, we are with one of our clients, we are bringing this up as a part of their organizational culture. I can't mention anything beyond this here, but the uh, the feel and the experience of exploring who you are, okay, and integrate that into organizational culture is what we really specialize in, and that's what we are bringing. So let's see how it goes.
So, another question in regards to your personal values. So, how do they guide you when you make a decision, a difficult decision? And how do you stay authentic, in that process?
One of my most, I would say, three values that are very, very important to me. Truth is number one. Second is respect. And third is the element of fun in whatever we do. So if let it be anything, I would say the biggest obstacle in anything that can take the world ahead, or that can take an organization ahead, or an individual ahead, the biggest obstacle is fear. And if that fear is instilled in the minds of people, then there is a greater need to lie. So if the leadership is transparent and if you are giving them space to be themselves without judgment, and to be able to let them understand who we are together and what our purpose is together and feel that ownership, that would bring in truth as an essential core value. And not many will even want to compromise on that. And with that truth comes in respect for another person. That is, if you truly value and respect somebody, there wouldn't be scope for you to create situations where another person would be put in difficulty, or in a sorry zone, or in a space where they have to, face the consequences. Because you again own up. No, we are in this together. I have your back, because there's nothing that I need to hide or you need to hide. We are in this together. It's about the safety that you bring about. And third is, what's there in a laugh? You know, I have initially I was into the science background, and I switched to the arts background, like, I would say economics background, and then to psychology. So, in this whole thing, what I've understood is when it comes to more logical thinking or science or math or anything like that, people think that if you laugh, then you would not score much, the seriousness. But that is where, it is time for creative leadership, where it is not about if you do, you can have fun, in the most serious situation also, because that lightens the whole, I would say, the mindset of a person, making that person feel less stressed out, less anxious, and to be able to stay calm and still take decisions. So when I say fun, it does not mean laugh and joke and not value the situation. I'm to be able to take light. It's very important. So that I think these things are very important to me. And I still can laugh like a child, and that's something that I really love. Yeah.
I agree with you. It's important to be able to take life not too heavy, because actually, what are we here for, right? What is the purpose of a life? If it's only heavy and dark, then this is not the life we want to be living, right? So we want a life of joy and excitement and achievement, and that's what we want to communicate with other people as well.
Yes.
So talking about giving advice to younger women that are pursuing leadership, but afraid of maybe societal or personal barriers, what advice would you give them?
Start is what I would say. Don't wait for everything in your life to become perfect before you start or take a decision. Because sometimes the fact that you started will set things right. The power of now is what I always believe in. Sometimes we think that if this happens, then I will work on that. If that happens, I may feel like this, but nothing of that sort exists. It's just you start and you will start seeing the path. Unless you set out on your journey, you'll never know what the roadblocks are or which path could be shorter, which is more scenic, nothing like that you will know unless you start the journey. And generally, people say life is very short. But I always say life is long enough for you, for each one. It's only that we wake up late,
That's true.
you know? So that's what I would like to tell youngsters. Don't fear and try not to bring in fear into your lives, because whenever you set out to do something, there will be so many people to tell you reasons why you should not do it. But hold on to people who say, yes, go ahead. If you fall, own it.
Mm,
But don't fear and not take that first step.
yes. I recently read somewhere, I don't remember who said it, but the biggest failure is not to try.
Absolutely.
So if you don't even try, then you're already lost.
Yes.
So if at least if you try, then you probably learn something, even if you fail. And if you succeed, that's even better.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So last but not least, so do you have a legacy that you want to leave behind for your children and the next generation of women?
Definitely. In fact, I think what we leave for the next generation, people generally focus on properties and money and things like that. But I think if you sow the seed of being courageous, being authentic, and to be able to realize that mistakes are human, I don't have to be judged, and to be able to forgive yourself at every point of time. It's okay, I forgive myself for what happened. I think that is what I would like my children to have. My children are 25 years old and 21 years old. So now they are adults. And I don't think I've given them anything else but the ability to see for themselves, learn for themselves, take decisions for themselves, to be free without judgment is what I think I have given them. And that is the only thing I think I want them to hold close to their heart, because I think then they will find their path.
I would add one thing that you've given them a very strong role model. Your life is really showing, a capacity of what can be achieved. And I think that is also an incredible gift giving to your children, that you're a role model that they can really look up to.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. It is, as parents, I think as parents and as leaders, one thing that I just would like to tell people that leadership is not about a designation at all. It is about what you leave behind or what you give somebody. To be able to stand up tall and to be able to explore, learn, bring in something new, fresh perspectives, that ability and that, I would say, that empowerment that you give somebody, that is what is authentic, good, transformational leadership. And that is the kind of leaders that we require. That is the kind of parenting that should happen.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining me today at the Diversify Inspiring Leaders podcast. And we really look forward to hopefully hosting you on a fireside chat sometime early 2026 and get to know more about the work that you're doing, because we didn't talk that much about the actual work you're doing. So we hope that we can find a space in 2026, early 2026, to invite you for a fireside chat where we can explore that part of your journey and learn from you.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. Thank you for having me on your podcast and look forward to meeting you again.